My fellow citizens, we gather here today in the pursuit of an earnest and noble truth. I stand before you not to stir hatred, nor to incite discord, but to speak plainly and candidly of a matter of great consequence. It is a matter that speaks to the very core of our character, our principles, and our honor. I bring forth this truth, though it may trouble some hearts, for it is only through discomfort that we find the necessary resolve to act in accordance with what is just and right. For too long we have allowed a false notion to flourish among us, a notion that the kindness and respect we extend to women should be but a formality, a gesture made in deference to some unwritten social code. Too often men have been taught to be endlessly nice, to be so cautious in their dealings with women that they forget the very essence of what it means to act with integrity, to act with purpose, to act as a man should. It is a mistaken belief to assume that gentleness, while undoubtedly virtuous, should be our sole manner of interaction with the women of this world. We must at last see clearly that niceness is no substitute for respect, no substitute for genuine understanding and equality. Men, it is time that we stop viewing women through the lens of paternalism, as objects of delicate fragility to be sheltered and shielded from the world. It is time that we stand firm, shoulder to shoulder with them as equals, not as guardians. When we go through life acting solely out of politeness and avoidance of discomfort, we do a great disservice not only to women but to ourselves. Women are not mere recipients of kindness. They are warriors in their own right. They are not the gentle flowers of which we must be careful not to step. They are the strong oak trees, the unyielding stone that withstands the storm. When we speak to them, we must do so as we would to any man, honestly, with forthrightness, and, above all, with respect. I challenge you, my fellow men, to look not upon women with the eyes of sentimentality, but through the eyes of justice and fairness. Do not mask your intentions with niceness, as if it were a shield to protect you from accountability. Do not tiptoe around the truth when it is clear and apparent. Women deserve not just kindness, but the full and unfettered truth of your character. Be straightforward with them, not in a manner of harshness, but in a manner that carries with it the weight of sincerity and honor. There will be those who say this speech is too blunt, too severe, but I say, let us not continue the cycle of evasion. Let us not let our relationships with women be built upon half-truths and false niceties. Let them be built upon a foundation of mutual respect, shared ideals, and unwavering honesty. Only then, when we stop being nice in the false sense, will we truly become the men we are meant to be. For in the end, niceness is a feeble substitute for the strength of character, the courage to speak plainly, and the fortitude to do what is right. Let us leave behind the crutch of niceness and walk forward shoulder to shoulder in honesty, with respect, and with the honor that all human beings, man or woman, deserve. The notion of niceness has become a cornerstone of modern social interaction, particularly in how men relate to women. Yet this niceness, more often than not, serves as a thin veil that obscures the deeper, more substantial values of mutual respect and equality. At its core, niceness is a superficial form of behavior designed to avoid conflict and discomfort, but it fails to capture the true essence of what it means to value and respect someone. It is not enough to simply be nice. One must instead be genuine in their respect for another person's humanity, capabilities, and rights. When we talk about niceness in this context, we are referring to a kind of politeness that does not challenge existing norms, that simply seeks to appease without pushing boundaries. In many ways, this brand of niceness is motivated by fear of confrontation, fear of being misunderstood, or even fear of making others uncomfortable. While these intentions may be rooted in kindness, they often lead to a stifling and disingenuous interaction with women. Instead of allowing the fullness of one's character to shine through, niceness forces people to wear a mask, hiding their true feelings, thoughts, and values. This false approach to relationships weakens the opportunity for authentic connection. Moreover, the idea of being nice often implies that there is something inherently fragile or incapable about women, something that requires constant protection or appeasement. This belief, whether overt or subtle, is rooted in outdated and patronizing attitudes. It suggests that women must be handled delicately, as if they are not capable of handling the same kinds of honest, forthright exchanges that men engage in daily. This paternalistic approach disrespects women by implying that they are not fully capable of engaging in meaningful, direct conversations. It keeps them on the receiving end of an interaction where their voices and opinions are sidelined in favor of maintaining a facade of niceness. What is far more valuable, and what we should strive for, is a respect that transcends politeness. Genuine respect does not seek to avoid discomfort. It embraces the difficult and uncomfortable truths that often lie beneath the surface of any meaningful relationship. True respect requires one to engage with another person not with the intention to placate or smooth over tensions, but with the aim of being honest, even when that honesty challenges the status quo. A person who treats others with genuine respect is not afraid to confront hard truths or to speak plainly, even if doing so causes discomfort. It is through these exchanges that true understanding and connection are forged. Furthermore, being respectful means acknowledging a person's autonomy, their ability to think, feel, and act independently. Niceness, by contrast, tends to disregard autonomy, instead presenting a version of politeness that assumes a kind of dependency or inability. When men are nice to women in this way, they often do so under the assumption that women need protection from the complexities of the world, from the harsh realities that men themselves face. This assumption is not only wrong, but also diminishes the agency and capacity of women to live as equals in society. By being overly nice, men fail to recognize that women are just as capable of handling life's challenges, engaging in complex conversations, and making decisions as any man. Instead of settling for niceness, we must strive for a more meaningful interaction, one that is rooted in equality, openness, and trust. Respect means seeing women as full partners in the human experience, with their own strengths, weaknesses, and abilities. It means recognizing that they are not objects to be sheltered or protected, but individuals who deserve the same consideration, dignity, and honesty that men do. When men act with genuine respect, they acknowledge the value and capability of women without the need for artificial niceties that serve only to uphold outdated social structures. In the end, niceness may seem harmless, even virtuous on the surface, but it is the absence of true respect, the refusal to engage in real and meaningful ways, that makes it so dangerous. It keeps us from seeing each other as equals and undermines the depth of our relationships. If we truly value women, we must stop being nice in this shallow sense and begin treating them with the full respect they deserve, honestly, openly, and as equals in all respect. Only then can we build relationships based on understanding, equality, and mutual regard. To understand the concept of equality in relationships between men and women, one must first cast aside outdated, archaic notions that have long held sway over our social structures and interactions. The idea that women are inherently different or need protection from the complexities of life is a relic of a bygone era. It is time now more than ever to move beyond these stereotypes and build relationships rooted in mutual respect and partnership, where both men and women stand shoulder to shoulder in the pursuit of common goals, shared values, and the collective betterment of society. Equality in its truest sense requires that we see each other not through the lens of gender, but through the lens of our shared humanity. This means viewing women not as fragile or passive, but as individuals with their own capabilities, desires, and dreams, capable of contributing equally to any endeavor or discourse. When men regard women as equals, they strip away the layers of paternalism that have often characterized male-female interactions, paving the way for honest, open, and balanced exchanges. To treat women as equals is not merely a matter of words or superficial gestures, but of how we engage with them in our daily lives. It is about offering women the same respect, opportunities, and support that men give each other. It is about recognizing that their voices matter just as much as any man's voice, and that their thoughts, ideas, and perspectives carry weight and merit. When men approach women with the mindset of equality, they acknowledge that women are not to be revered or protected in a patronizing manner, but treated as equals in every respect, capable of standing on their own 2 feet, facing challenges, and making decisions. Equality also means not viewing women as objects of affection or as people to be won through acts of niceness or charm. It is far too easy for men to slip into the mindset that women are something to be attained, something that requires special treatment or extra effort. But when relationships are viewed through this lens, they are built on the wrong foundation. The expectation that one must earn a woman's attention or approval through niceness implies that she is a prize to be won, rather than a fully realized human being with her own agency and voice. What men must understand is that women are already their equals, and there is no need to try and win them over by pretending to be something they are not, or by offering gestures that are meant only to gain favor. True equality involves an exchange of ideas, a mutual understanding, and a willingness to grow together. It is about supporting each other in each other's pursuits, recognizing strengths and weaknesses, and working side by side, not in competition but in collaboration. The equality that we must strive for is one that acknowledges differences in life experience, but one that refuses to let those differences dictate how we relate to one another. Men and women may face distinct challenges, but those challenges do not make one gender superior or inferior to the other. To build a truly equal society, we must stop placing undue value on the ways in which men and women are different, and instead place value on how they are alike in their humanity. When we do so, we empower women to engage with the world on their own terms, with the same freedom to pursue their dreams, express their opinions, and take action as men do. Equality also requires that men abandon the outdated belief that women's success or achievement somehow diminish their own. This view has been ingrained in society for generations, that a woman's rise means a man must fall. But in reality, the success of women is a victory for all, for it opens the door to greater possibilities, to stronger collaborations, and to richer relationships. When men see women as equals, they celebrate their accomplishments without feeling threatened. Instead, they stand together in mutual respect, sharing in the joy of progress and growth. Moreover, true equality asks men to listen with an open mind and an open heart. It means taking women's opinions and contributions seriously without dismissing or minimizing them because of their gender. In an equal society, women are not simply heard. They are understood and valued for what they bring to the table. When men listen and engage with women as equals, they invite diverse perspectives into the conversation, creating stronger, more inclusive communities where all voices matter. Ultimately, the call to treat women as equals is a call to build a society where gender no longer serves as a barrier to opportunity, respect, or success. It is about breaking down the walls that have historically divided men and women, and creating a world where everyone is free to pursue their potential without fear of discrimination or bias. When men and women stand together equally, they are not only stronger as individuals, but also stronger as a society. Equality, then, is not just a lofty ideal, it is a necessity for the progress and prosperity of all. The concept of paternalism, particularly when it comes to men's treatment of women, is deeply rooted in the historical context of gender inequality. For centuries, women have been portrayed as delicate, vulnerable, and in need of protection from the harsh realities of the world. This paternalistic approach has created a social framework where men, often unintentionally, see themselves as caretakers or guardians of women's well-being, assuming that their strength, intellect, and agency are less than their own. This mindset not only limits women but also stifles the development of relationships built on mutual respect and equality. To treat women with this kind of paternalism is to deny them the agency they rightfully possess. It reduces women to objects in need of shielding, rather than individuals capable of making their own choices, taking their own actions, and navigating the world as autonomous beings. This perception, whether held consciously or subconsciously, strips women of the full opportunity to stand alongside men as equals, capable of facing challenges, making decisions, and asserting their own authority. By seeing women through this lens of fragility and dependence, men are not empowering them, but inadvertently holding them back. Paternalism also manifests in the subtle ways men interact with women on a daily basis. For example, a man might feel compelled to protect a woman by making decisions on her behalf, assuming that she cannot make the right choice herself. This kind of behavior is often couched in the guise of care or protection, but it actually implies that women are incapable of navigating the world on their own. Whether it's men stepping in to speak for women in meetings, making choices about where they should go, or even deciding what they should wear, paternalism perpetuates the idea that women are not fully capable of managing their own lives. This dynamic reinforces a power imbalance that perpetuates the idea that women need men to intervene on their behalf, rather than allowing them to take the lead in their own lives. At its core, paternalism undermines the foundational principles of equality. It implies that one person, specifically the man, is in a position of superiority, which automatically casts the woman in a role of inferiority. When men act as though women need their protection, they are also implying that women cannot stand on their own or be trusted with making their own decisions. The very act of stepping in and shielding women from the world denies them the autonomy and empowerment that is their right as human beings. It also prevents them from gaining the confidence and experience needed to face adversity, take risks, and thrive in the world. Furthermore, the idea of paternalism can inadvertently undermine the emotional and intellectual growth of both men and women. Men who engage in this form of behavior may find themselves trapped in a cycle of feeling responsible for someone else's well-being, which can lead to frustration, burnout, or resentment. Women, on the other hand, may begin to internalize the message that they are somehow incapable or inadequate, which can diminish their self-worth and limit their aspiration. This dynamic ultimately damages the possibility of forming healthy, empowering relationships, whether personal or professional, because it prevents both parties from fully realizing their potential as equals. Instead of acting out of a sense of paternalism, men should aim to treat women with the same respect and recognition that they would offer to other men. This means acknowledging women's strengths, allowing them to make their own decisions, and giving them the autonomy to chart their own course in life. It also means engaging with women as equal partners in all aspects of society, whether in the workplace, in political discourse, or in personal relationships. Men should refrain from making assumptions about what women need or want based on outdated stereotypes of fragility and dependence. Rather, they should listen to women, trust their judgment, and work collaboratively with them as equals, respecting their capabilities and contributions. In a society where men and women are truly equal, paternalism will no longer have a place. Women will not be seen as needing to be protected from the world, but as capable and empowered individuals who have the right to make their own choices and navigate life on their own terms. This shift will require men to let go of the ingrained belief that they are somehow superior or more capable than women, and to begin treating women with the full respect they deserve. This will not only result in more meaningful, balanced relationships, but also create a society where both men and women are empowered to reach their fullest potential. The absence of paternalism will lead to a more dynamic and respectful society, one where men and women are not locked in unequal power dynamics, but are free to collaborate, challenge, and support one another as equals. This vision requires not only a change in behavior, but a profound shift in attitude. A recognition that women, like men, possess their own strengths and capabilities and should be treated accordingly. In the end, only by breaking free from the confines of paternalism can we create a truly equal society, where both men and women stand together in solidarity, not as protectors and protected, but as equals. Honesty is a cornerstone of any meaningful relationship, whether personal, professional, or societal. It is the foundation upon which trust is built and the quality that enables true understanding between individuals. When it comes to relationships between men and women, honesty is not just a virtue, it is a necessity for equality and respect. Too often, people, especially men, prioritize niceness over honesty, thinking that being kind and accommodating will preserve peace and harmony. However, niceness, while well-intentioned, can mask the truth, leading to misunderstandings and unfulfilled connections. Being genuinely honest, even when it's uncomfortable, is far more beneficial in the long run because it fosters transparency, understanding, and the growth of meaningful relationships. To treat women with the respect they deserve, men must be willing to confront uncomfortable truths and speak plainly. Honesty in this sense is not about being brutal or harsh, but about being forthright and transparent. Men must resist the urge to soften their words or avoid difficult conversations in the name of niceness. By doing so, they are denying both women and themselves the opportunity to engage in a relationship that is grounded in truth. While niceness may prevent an immediate conflict, it does not resolve the underlying issues that need to be addressed. Only through honesty can we truly understand each other and work towards solutions that benefit both parties. When men are honest with women, they are demonstrating trust and respect. Trust is not something that can be built on niceness alone. It requires the vulnerability of sharing one's true thoughts, feelings, and intentions. By being open and honest, men allow women to see them for who they truly are, without the veil of politeness or false pretenses. This in turn invites women to reciprocate with their own honesty, creating an environment where both individuals can be authentic and vulnerable. In such an environment, both parties can speak freely, share ideas, and voice concerns without the fear of judgment or dismissal. It is this transparency that allows for the kind of communication that builds deep, trusting relationships. Honesty also paves the way for growth, both individually and as partners. By being honest, men encourage self-reflection and personal development. When men express their true thoughts and feelings, they open the door for women to do the same. Relationships that are based on honesty encourage both parties to examine their beliefs, values, and behaviors. This mutual examination fosters understanding, respect, and personal growth, as both individuals are willing to confront the hard truths that may otherwise be ignored. Instead of hiding behind niceties, men can openly express their desires, goals, and concerns, and in turn, women can do the same. In this process, both individuals grow stronger, more self-aware, and more connected. Furthermore, honesty in relationships helps to eliminate the power dynamics that can often arise from misunderstanding or miscommunication. When niceness is the dominant mode of interaction, it creates a false harmony that may seem pleasant on the surface, but hides deeper tensions. These unresolved issues may eventually fester, resentment, or even emotional distance. Honesty, however, allows both parties to address problems directly, preventing them from escalating into larger conflicts. It fosters a sense of equality where both individuals have the freedom to express themselves openly and without fear of reprisal. In relationships between men and women, this honesty helps to dismantle the power structures that often arise from outdated gender norms, allowing for genuine equality and mutual respect. In a world where the pressures of social expectations often dictate behavior, honesty offers a path of liberation. Men especially are often conditioned to adhere to certain standards of behavior, to conform to an ideal of masculinity that may not reflect their true selves. This conditioning can make it difficult for men to be open and honest, particularly with women, as they may fear being judged or rejected. However, honesty does not require men to conform to any ideal or perform any role. It simply asks them to be themselves, to express their true thoughts and feelings without pretense. This is not only liberating for men, but also empowering for women, as it enables both individuals to see each other as they truly are, without the distortions of social expectations. Additionally, honesty is crucial for setting healthy boundaries. In any relationship, boundaries are essential for maintaining respect and ensuring that both parties feel safe and valued. Niceness often clouds the issue of boundaries, as it may lead people to tolerate behavior that they are uncomfortable with in the name of avoiding conflict. By being honest, men and women can establish and communicate clear boundaries, ensuring that both parties' needs and limits are respected. This honesty is crucial in creating relationships that are not only authentic, but also supportive and sustainable. When both individuals are honest about their expectations, desires, and boundaries, they lay the groundwork for a partnership that is based on mutual respect and understanding. Ultimately, honesty is not just about telling the truth, it is about creating an environment where both men and women can thrive as their true selves. It is about being brave enough to confront discomfort and address issues that may arise, rather than sweeping them under the rug. When men and women engage with each other honestly, they build a foundation of trust, respect, and equality that allows their relationships to flourish. It is through this honesty that genuine connections are formed, relationships grow stronger, and both parties become better versions of themselves. In this way, honesty is not only a tool for communication, but a means for creating deeper, more meaningful interactions that transcend the surface-level niceness that so often dominates social exchanges. Niceness, though often regarded as a virtue, can sometimes become a barrier to the kind of meaningful relationships that are built on authenticity and respect. Too often, niceness is used as a tool to avoid conflict, to smooth over uncomfortable situations, and to avoid challenging the status quo. While these intentions may appear harmless, they are ultimately detrimental, particularly in relationships between men and women where genuine connection, mutual understanding, and equality are essential. By focusing on niceness instead of honesty, integrity, and true respect, we perpetuate a culture of superficiality that prevents people from truly engaging with one another as equals. The fundamental problem with niceness is that it tends to be shallow. It often prioritizes politeness and social ease over truth and vulnerability. In many cases, being nice involves saying what you think the other person wants to hear rather than what you truly believe or feel. This creates an environment where both men and women may be reluctant to speak their minds, leading to misunderstandings, miscommunications, and unresolved tensions. When men prioritize niceness over honesty, they are not allowing women the opportunity to see who they truly are, nor are they giving themselves the chance to build authentic relationships that are grounded in mutual respect. Furthermore, when niceness is the prevailing mode of interaction, it creates a false sense of harmony that may seem pleasant on the surface but lacks the depth necessary for real connection. Instead of engaging in honest dialogue and working through differences, people may choose to avoid difficult topics, which only postpones or exacerbates problems. In relationships between men and women, this can be particularly damaging, as it prevents both individuals from confronting addressing the inequalities or misunderstandings that may exist between them. Niceness creates a facade of politeness that hides the deeper issues that need to be addressed in order for the relationship to thrive. When men stop relying on niceness and begin focusing on true respect and understanding, they open the door for more meaningful and genuine interactions. This shift requires the willingness to be uncomfortable, to engage in difficult conversations, and to face the realities of their relationships without resorting to superficial pleasantries. It means being willing to speak honestly and respectfully, even when it might cause discomfort or conflict. In doing so, men and women alike can build a stronger foundation for their relationships, one that is based not on avoiding discomfort but on confronting challenges and growing together as equals. Moreover, moving beyond niceness allows for the development of deeper emotional intimacy. Authentic relationships are built on trust, and trust is born from honesty and openness. When both parties can speak freely about their desires, needs, and boundaries, they create an environment where vulnerability is not seen as a weakness but as a strength. Being truthful and direct with each other fosters respect and creates a space where both men and women can grow emotionally, intellectually, and personally. This kind of openness is far more fulfilling than the artificial harmony that niceness often creates, as it leads to genuine connections that are rooted in who people truly are, not in the facades they present to the world. In addition to fostering stronger relationships, moving beyond niceness also challenges the societal norms that have long placed men and women in unequal positions. By treating women with true respect, acknowledging their strengths, abilities, and autonomy, men help dismantle the patriarchal structures that have often been reinforced by superficial behaviors. Niceness often serves to perpetuate the status quo, keeping women in roles that are dependent on men for validation or approval. By focusing on honesty and equality, men empower women to be their full, authentic selves without the constraints of gendered expectations. This shift allows for true collaboration, where both men and women contribute equally, not because of an obligation to be nice, but because of a genuine respect for one another as equals. Furthermore, abandoning niceness in favor of authentic respect is liberating for both men and women. Men no longer need to conform to the expectation that they must constantly be nice or accommodating in order to gain approval or avoid conflict. Instead, they can focus on being themselves, honest, open, and true to their beliefs and values. This authenticity allows men to form stronger, more meaningful connections with others, particularly with women, who can then engage with them as equals without the false pretenses that niceness so often imposes. It also empowers men to challenge the toxic aspects of traditional masculinity, which often demand that men suppress their true emotions or desires in favor of pleasing others. For women, moving beyond niceness allows them to be seen for who they truly are, not as someone to be placated or appeased. It creates a space where women can assert their own boundaries, voice their concerns, and express their needs without fear of being labeled as difficult or demanding. By encouraging this kind of openness and respect, both men and women can participate in relationships that are built on a foundation of equality, where both individuals are valued for their true selves and not for the roles they are expected to play. Ultimately, moving beyond niceness is about fostering relationships that are authentic, equal, and based on mutual respect. It requires a commitment to being honest, even when it is difficult, and to treating one another as equals who are capable of handling the complexities of life and relationships. By doing so, men and women can build stronger, more meaningful connections, relationships that are grounded in who they truly are, not in the masks they wear to avoid discomfort. This shift in perspective will lead to healthier, more fulfilling interactions, and a society where both men and women are empowered to live as their true, unfiltered selves. In conclusion, the path to true equality between men and women lies not in superficial niceness, But in honest, respectful, and authentic interactions, men must move beyond outdated notions of paternalism and embrace a relationship built on mutual respect, trust, and open communication. By treating women as equals, acknowledging their strengths, respecting their autonomy, and engaging in meaningful conversations, both men and women can break free from societal constraints that limit their potential. It is through honesty, vulnerability, and the willingness to confront uncomfortable truths that we can build relationships that transcend mere politeness and lead to lasting, genuine connections. Let us all strive to create a world where equality is not just a goal but a reality grounded in respect and understanding.